This Major League Baseball thing hasn't slowed down a bit.
It is. There's a fire at the landfill, and you go on vacation for a couple weeks, and you come back, and man, that landfill still smells like burning trash.
Yeah, a lot of burning rubber and tires all over the place, and it continues to get bigger as it just seems like everyone, when they're trying to talk about this, finds ways to make it worse for what did, and maybe more specifically, Junior, what didn't happen in terms of the Houston Astros.
Rob Manfred not punishing the players, had to go after immunity there. There are things along the way that are understandable, right? And I think had this been handled better by everybody involved, and it started with the Astros and Jim Crane and the players coming out and levying an apology that was not believable and was inconsistent and seemed hollow
with his own words.
With his own words, using the commissioner's report as a shield, and now then getting to the point where the commissioner had to speak up. And boy, oh boy, did he come out with it. I mean, it felt tepid at best, the response. It did not come out and condemn the people that were easy to condemn. And so when you lose that, you lose the crowd, you lose your freedom.
And then, of course, he misspoke horribly about the trophy, the World Series trophy, calling it a piece of metal. So bad that he had to actually apologize for that, which was absolutely the right thing to do. But still, people understand. I mean, people are passionate about their sports. I mean, LeBron James, of all people, is tweeting about it, and you pointed out this astutely, Junior, this morning. It might be the single greatest line in the history of any tweet ever.
It's such a dad tweet by LeBron James, first and foremost. He said, listen, I know I don't play baseball, but I am in sports.
Stop right there. Let's just start right there. I am in sports. Hold on. We just confirmed, breaking news, LeBron James is in sports.
I work in the business, see? Sports is the game, LeBron's the name. And I know if someone cheated me out of winning the title and I found out about it, I would be bleeping irate. I mean, like, uncontrollable about what I would and could do. Listen here, baseball commissioner.
I mean, it goes on.
That's the other part. It's so disrespectful.
Now, you listen to me, baseball commissioner. I'm going to tell you something right now, Sonny.
Look at you
got to take care of this because there's going to be some high, hard chin music coming to those Astros players down in the great state of Texas along the Galveston coastline.
Can I interest you in 10?
So you better make sure you take care of what's needed to be taken care of, because otherwise those players will take it into their own hands.
They're making tires out of rubber now.
There you go. So
I don't know what else they sell back, and I assume it's like the 20s, 30s, like all that stuff.
20-something skidoo. There you have it. So it was that line, I am in sports, is one of the great tweet lines of all time.
But LeBron James basically saying you need to fix this.
Fix it.
Allowing this to go on is to LeBron James, who said it, and this is just proof of how wide it is spread. Yeah. It is not just an affront to baseball anymore. This idea is offensive to anyone who's ever put on a uniform, anyone who's ever watched sports.
Who's competitive in any way, shape, or form. And look, let's be clear about one thing. The Astros, and we know because Red Sox are still being investigated, are not the only team to try and steal signs, and they're probably not the only team to try and steal signs using electronically, because that's exactly what the Boston Red Sox are being investigated for.
Yes. Now, what's interesting is, and you get some people tweeting in, Brian tweets in, why isn't the same outrage focused on the Red Sox players? They cheated and won a championship. Beltran said the Astros sign stealing was behind the times, suggesting many other teams were doing it. How many get suspended if no player immunity is there to expose these schemes? And again, I'm with you, but Jeff Passan pointed this out on Spain and Company the other night. There's a difference of thinking and wondering. Doug Burton tweets in, the lack of action by MLB commissioner makes me think they know other teams are cheating, maybe not on the Astros scale. That's just it. Think, maybe. All of these things. Yeah. We have definites here. We have names and people involved in this. We have specifically how it was done. It's all too obvious to ignore. And the rest of it, you can think and wonder and suppose about all that, but you can't punish to the extreme that you could have here, or at the very least, lay blame at the feet of a group of people that we know. We don't have to wonder. We don't have to think. We got it all spelled out right here. Yeah. So that's the difference between the Astros and the Red Sox and everybody else, is this situation was spelled out so clearly that we cannot ignore it or excuse it away.
And not only that, it was used specifically by guidelines that they have been told not to use. People steal signs all the time.
Yes.
Let's be clear about that. But the way the Astros went through this elaborate electronic information-based technology way of doing it is what is really ticking people off.
It is, and you're right. That goes back to the Red Sox and the Apple Watch, and Correct. That instance that was punished, I believe, back in 2017. And they sent that memo out, and they told all the teams, they told team league personnel in the front office and the managers, You are going to be held responsible for this if your players are participating in something like this. And the Astros never read them that memo, and now we have the situation that we have, where because of that, the commissioner had to do what he did that got to this point where everyone else is big mad, and especially the other players. Like, this has been the most surprising part, is in any sport we always hear, very rarely is there player-on-player interaction to this level. Very rarely in sport is there player-on-player hate, and this seems like genuine disdain from so many guys.
It started with Mike Clevenger, the Indians pitcher, who gave an interview in the most Clevenger way possible while he was getting a tattoo about how upset he was about this. Then you said it yesterday, Junior, which was great. This is so bad it made Mike Trout actually say something. I had never heard Mike Trout's voice before he sort of got...
Big win for Major League Baseball, because we know what Mike Trout likes or dislikes in this case.
Best player speaks.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content plus live streaming, make sure to subscribe to ESPN Player.